I want to preface this video by warning you that Art the Clown and the Terrifier series in general is infamous for its gruesome and graphic content. You've been warned. Although, you won't have to worry about that as much in this video because I won't be deeply diving into the kills themselves or showing any gruesome content on the screen.
What is up, gang? It's your boy Fridayrandommedia, and I'm back on this Friday with another video. And today we are going to be talking about a new horror icon on the ups. We are talking about Art the Clown. Is Art the Clown stronger than you think? Does he pose a threat to the versus battle, death battle, friggin' power scaling community? I guess we're gonna take a look and find out. Art the Clown, villain and antagonist across the Terrifier franchise, and even before that, what or who Art is, still undecided. So let's try to figure this out. If you guys want more horror style videos, I know it's close to Halloween, so that's the vibe. Comment down below what other characters, icons, movies, stories, whatever it may be, what you want a video on. Let's dive in. Art the Clown was first featured in a short film, The Ninth Circle, in 2008, and this is where Art presumably works under the devil. Art abducts a lady on Halloween night, which we'll talk more about later, and this brings her to be sacrificed to the devil himself. So, based off this first appearance of Art the Clown, it's safe to say there is a supernatural, interdimensional twist to his character with direct ties to the devil and this demonic cult. In Art's second real appearance in the All Hallows Eve anthology, Art was shown to have the ability to teleport, and this ticks another box in the supernatural category here. When a woman flees the scene, Art is somehow already ahead of her on the road, knowing exactly where she was going to go. So this also alludes to some sort of supernatural awareness where Art is able to understand and maybe even read the minds of his victims. Art is also shown teleporting into this woman's moving car. So all these scenes are happening, and it should be mentioned that these scenes are presented as a movie within the movie. So there's characters in the movie watching this happen on a VHS tape. And that's important because at one point, Art the Clown is able to escape the VHS tape, and he goes on to slaughter people in the real world. And this tells us that the VHS tape was either cursed or it's a supernatural tape somehow, but it also proves that Art possesses the power of fictional transcendence within his universe. And this can kind of be related back to Bagul, if you've ever seen the Sinister films where Bagul travels through photographs or videos or radio waves or whatever it may be. Maybe Art has a similar power here where he can travel through, what would you call that? Like media. Now, in his real deal first appearance, Terrifier, Art the Clown seems to have a more human twist here, with more human facial features while applying his makeup. He's shown to be taking physical damage from something as minuscule as a scalpel, a tiny little knife. So, it should also be mentioned here, Art the Clown takes great pride and joy in creating a big, messy, gory piece of art with his victims. It's definitely unrated style movie type shit. It's rated R. Art can easily one-shot people, whether it's with a blunted weapon or a bladed weapon, or when he pulls out his trusty pistol. However, in the end, the supernatural elements swing back into action when Art resurrects after blowing a crater into his head. Demonic ties are back. This man blew the back of his head out with a pistol, and he's shown to be back in action by the end of the film. So, yeah, it is kind of funny how Art pulls out the 9, just blasts away when things get real. Now, moving on to the sequel, Terrifier 2, Art the Clown is shown to be linked directly to Halloween time, always attacking around Halloween. It's also shown early on that Art does indeed have some sort of pull on the dreams and nightmares of his targets, as shown by Sienna's dream, and Sienna is like the Scream Queen of the Terrifier series. So, as the story goes on, we see that Sienna in her angelic suit, created by her father, have a special power that rival Art's. And this also goes for the special magic blade. I'll just call it the magic blade. And after this magic blade is able to behead Art, cut his head off, he is assumed dead. At least until he is birthed by Victoria Hayes, another character in an insane asylum. So here Art is shown to have more demonic ties, and it also shows that not even the magic blade can keep Art down for the count. Now, before I go on, I want to say that this is all pre-Terrifier 3. I know Terrifier 3 just came out recently, now in October. Comment if you want to see an updated follow-up video with the details from Terrifier 3, and we can kind of redo this and maybe even dive deeper into this topic. So let's get down to it. What are Art the Clown's powers really? It's clear that Art the Clown has the speed and the strength to one-shot his targets with pure force alone, but that's not always Art's style. He prefers to toy and torture and brutalize his victims in pretty terrible, nightmarish ways. Despite being stabbed in the eye, stabbed some more, shot with a shotgun, blowing his own head open, and being beheaded by the magic blade, Art always returns. Smaller physical attacks, like that shotgun blast to the torso, Art returns fully healed rather quickly, so he clearly regenerates, and he has some sort of decent durability here. When it comes to the supernatural, demonic, and interdimensional aspect of Art the Clown, let's start with his ability to teleport, and he does this when he's following or evading his targets. He's used this ability several times to have an up on his targets, and he uses it over and over again. Accompanying the teleportation, Art also has a mental tie to his targets, able to pull them into a dream sequence and affecting their dreams. Whether the Terrifier universe has a separate dreamscape type of dimension, or it's just in the target's mind, I don't fully know. But Art the Clown can play on his target's fears and nightmares, sometimes driving them to near insanity like he did with Sienna's father. Finally, the fictional transcendence is a cool one and would play into the vibe of the dreamscape existing in this universe, as we've seen Art in the VHS tape along with in Hell and in All Hallows Eve and then back on Earth. So is this enough evidence that Art the Clown can travel dimensions? I personally think so, but it seems that Art and his abilities aren't always consistent and they aren't always logically applied, which makes it fun because it's horror. It's interesting, and sometimes it can be a little confusing. And if you know anything about power scaling and horror and death battles, it gets a little confusing. So when Art the Clown is stacked up with the top dog, top horror icons, how does he stack up? Art the Clown in some ways reminds me of Michael Myers, the way he stalks his victims, and the way he takes damage only to heal and return to kill again. Although not as physically capable as Michael Myers, it's safe to say that Art carries a few more supernatural tricks up his sleeve. Characters like Leatherface don't stand much of a chance versus Art, first of all because of the physicality, and second because of the powers. And although Jason Voorhees may massively outmuscle Art, Art the Clown still possesses more supernatural abilities and more interdimensional versatility. Once when you put Art the Clown in the arena with the likes of Freddy Krueger, or Pennywise the Clown, or Pinhead and the Cenobites, maybe even Bagul, this is where it gets more complicated. We're not exactly sure where Art the Clown ranks in the Terrifier universe's hierarchy in hell with the devil. Is Art a slave to the devil? Or is he a servant? Or is he a high-ranking demon of some sort? We're just not sure yet. But unlike Freddy Krueger, Art doesn't have the ability to kill within the dreamscape, at least like Freddy Krueger does. Unlike Pennywise the Clown, Art isn't the embodiment of a concept like evil or fear, and he hasn't been around for millennia. Unlike the Cenobites and Pinhead, Art the Clown doesn't show as much power to effortlessly take a victim. Does the Terrifier universe's devil possess the same power and domain as the Leviathan and Hellraiser, for example? We're just not sure of this. So, among the horror icons, I put Art somewhere between Michael Myers, where Michael Myers is more towards the bottom, and put him between Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger, where Freddy Krueger is kind of mid-tier, right below the Cenobites, and maybe even below Pennywise. But we still have so much to find out about Art the Clown and what the Terrifier universe is up to as far as its dimensions and hell and demons and what even Art is totally as a being and as a character. Now, if there is any horror icons that I would like to see Art the Clown interact with, number one, Freddy Krueger would be a pretty good combination here. Art the Clown and Freddy Krueger both are twisted in their own way. Both are really animated characters, and I feel like between Freddy's dialogue and Art the Clown's slapstick comedy, I feel like they could have a pretty good film together, or at least a series or a comic series or whatever it may be. Another one would be the Cenobites, and whether that's Pinhead or other Cenobites. The Cenobites walk the line of pain and pleasure, however, Art the Clown dives into pain, and he relishes in torture, so it'd be interesting to see how his kind of demonic entity would rank among the Cenobites. Another thing that would be interesting to me is seeing how the Leviathan and how the Labyrinth would exist within the Terrifier universe, or vice versa, where Art exists in the Labyrinth and the Leviathan's universe. So to wrap this video up, let's start with the question and the answer from the beginning. Art the Clown, is he stronger than you thought? Well, to me, personally, he is a little bit stronger than I thought. When it comes to ties with the devil and hell, traveling the VHS tape, interdimensional travel and teleporting, yeah, Art the Clown is a lot stronger than I thought in that kind of way. But at first I thought he was kind of just your everyday slasher villain, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers type guy. But it is interesting to see how all the lore unfolds, and it's going to be interesting to see how Art develops as a character and as a creature, as an entity, and all that goes beyond that with Terrifier 3. So comment down below if you guys want me to do a follow-up video with some information from Terrifier 3 and what we learned from that film. If you want more horror icon-based videos, fantasy, fiction, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, comics, anime, whatever it may be, comment down below and let me know. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. Peace out.